Hey everyone, Nick here and welcome back to GamerJoob, and welcome back to our Garten of Banban character concept series. So in today's video, the character looking into is King Hopsalot. So we're going to this character's backstory, location, gameplay mechanics, and all that good stuff as well. As always, I will just state that everything I say in this video isn't necessarily into the overall universe and lore of Garten of Banban. This is just a fun what-if scenario and a cool creepy character we get to show, and we hope you enjoy. And lastly, before we start today's video, do be sure to subscribe to GamerJoob as it helps out a lot and it's greatly appreciated. It also keeps you up to date with all the videos that we post. So recently we just did another one of our community character live streams, where we all got together and we made an awesome new character. So going forward, we want to do more of these in the future, so leave a like on this video to let us know that you want us to do more of these live streams. Alrighty, well let's get into the character concept of King Hopsalot. So previously in our Garten of Banban character concept series, we've been introduced to a whole cast of evil mascot characters. The most recent character being Deputy Lilypad. The deputy was originally Sheriff Toadster's partner in justice, but eventually the deputy was forgotten about and left all alone in the depths of the kindergarten. The player came face to face with Deputy Lilypad but managed to escape. But now they find themselves in a new area of the kindergarten, and with a new area comes a new character. So this new character is King Hopsalot. King Hopsalot is a golden kangaroo and king of the royal kangaroo family. He is gold in colour and is wearing his red cape, king's crown, and wielding a royal sword. Some would have noticed by now that his queen is none other than Queen Bouncelia herself. King Hopsalot and Queen Bouncelia ruled over the Storybook Kingdom together, but the king's obsession and corruption would drive them apart. King Hopsalot had an unhealthy obsession with gold. He loved the stuff. Anything that was gold coloured, he would take for himself and store it away. He stole many gold objects from all the workers as well, including watches and rings. But there was one last golden object that the king desired, and that was Queen Bouncelia's golden tiara. But this didn't bode very well with the queen. After he attempted to steal her golden tiara, she banished the king from the Storybook Kingdom library. Ever since then, the king was banished to the lower depths of the kindergarten. Alone in his solitude, he eventually went mad. In the end, his lust for gold cost him everything. Being away from his queen and all of his gold tore him up inside. And this was meant quite literally. His greed started to corrupt him, and something deep inside the king started to emerge. So now we return to the player. They have been exploring this new area for a little while now. Eventually they come to their first obstacle that they need to face. They find themselves in a room with multiple corridors. Hanging above from the ceiling are a number of sharp pointy swords. They appear to be floating on their own. The player suspects that the moment they walk under these swords, they will fall down directly on them. And it turns out they were right. But not all the swords would drop down. Some would stay in place and others would fall straight down. The player needs to be careful and keep an eye on all of the swords. The swords that were about to fall would slightly wobble before they did. The player needs to dodge them right before they fall down. So after navigating their way through all the swords, they then face yet another obstacle. Through a long hallway are numerous giant axe blades swinging from side to side. What on earth was this place? It's like it was one giant death trap. The player needs to time this perfectly. As they get further through the hallway, the axes would swing faster and faster. Once they've carefully dodged all the blades, they come to an open area. They can see something written on the wall. It says, "The king demands his gold." The king. Maybe this was another character like Queen Bouncelia. The player remembers the last time they faced her. They would only hope this king character wasn't as dangerous. Out of the corner of their eye, the player sees something walking into the room. They quickly hide and peek out to see who it is. And the player's suspicions were correct. It was another royal kangaroo character, only this time they were gold coloured and wore a crown and a dirty ripped cape. But the strangest thing of all was what was going on with his stomach. There was just a big wide opening. and out of this opening emerged a pair of legs and arms. What was going on here? It was almost like something was living inside of this king character. The strange purple legs started walking around for the king. It was almost like the king's body was no longer in control. Instead, it was this creepy looking entity. The player has to distract the king in order to get out of here safely, so they would need to use their drone and fly in their direction. The king would get distracted only for a little while and walk after the drone. Each time this happened, there would be a short moment in time where the player would be able to sneak forward and find a new place to hide. Moments later, the king would stop following the drone and search around for the player again. The player would need to keep distracting them in order to sneak out of this room. Eventually, the player makes it out of here. But they aren't safe just yet. As soon as they step foot out of the room, King Hopsalot sees them. The king chases after the player as they run through the winding corridors. The player needs to keep up the pace as the king is right behind them. Fortunately, the player finds a room that they can lock themselves in. They turn around and see the Mad King staring at them through the glass. How on earth are they going to get out of here? The player searches this locked room to see if there was anything they could use to escape. While searching, the player finds one of the drone workbenches. They can also see a number of different paints on the workbench as well. This gives them an idea. Luckily for the player, there is a bucket of gold paint. They decide to paint their drone gold and use it to lure the king away. Surely his obsession with gold will get the best of him. The player notices inside this room is a switch that activates a trapdoor outside. The player needs to lure the king to the trapdoor and then they could drop him to one of the lower levels. So they fly the golden drone outside the room and the king takes notice. His eyes light up with excitement. It was gold, something they haven't seen for quite some time. His obsession took over him and he decided to blindly follow the golden drone. Slowly but surely, the king made it over to the trapdoor. Finally, when the time is right, the player presses the button and activates the trapdoor. King Hopsalot and the creepy creature living inside him fall right down and plummet to the bottom. The player quickly closes the door and seals him away. Finally, they had done it. They had bested King Hopsalot and can now make it safely out of this area. As they make their way forward, they can't help but wonder what was lurking inside of the king. But hopefully they will never see the king or that strange little creature again. But as to if this would be the case, we'll just have to wait and see. Alrighty everyone, well that's all we have for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, please consider leaving a like, commenting and subscribing, as it helps a lot and it's greatly appreciated. As always, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of King Hopsalot and what you'd like to see going forward. Alrighty everyone, well thanks for watching and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.